What's up, guys? This is Dread from the Trinity of Lift, bringing you a 6 Samurai deck profile. Let's just get right into this. Start off with the main deck. You're going to be running, for my build, I run 2 Kagemusha of the 6 Samurai. He's mostly just used for your rank 5 access, or basically just getting your synchros in general, because with him you're allowed to get your 8s, your 5s, and a 7. Most common one though is you're going to be going into a 5, which is the boss monster of the deck, Synchro Sheehan. I'll go into that when I get into the extra itself. Next, 2 Kageki. Kageki helps you swarm the field with your monsters, because when he's summoned, you can summon another 6 Samurai monster. The main combo with this is just summon Kageki, summon Kagemusha, instant rank 5, well, not rank 5, level 5 synchro, which is usually going to be your Sheehan, but I have other rank 5s that I use as well. After Kageki, we have 2 Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai. He's just there as a beater, basically, because if there's another Samurai in the field, you can summon him. His second effect, where if he dies from a card effect, and you can pull another Samurai back to your hand from grave, you're not going to be relying on it a lot, but you will find instances where it's useful. So you have a Kizan in grave, he dies, Grandmaster dies from a card effect, so you run into a Mirror Force or something. You can just get Kizan back, summon it back. There's part of your field. Next, 1 Zanji. Zanji, I mainly just use him as like rank 4 overlay fodder. There's some situations where I do actually use his effect, which is he's basically a lesser bow blader for Samurai. He kills anything he runs into, but most of the time he'll end up dying in the process. Yeah, he's also just an asceticism target to allow me to get Kizan. Or it works in reverse, where if I have Kizan, I can get Zanji, and that's the instant rank 4. Next, monsters. 2 Inishi, legendary 6 Samurai Inishi. His effect is really great in today's meta, because he's basically just like a Ryza or a Walking Compulse. Because his effect reads, you can banish 2 6 Samurai from the graveyard to send 1 face-up monster on the field back to the hand. So he's basically a Compulse. Works great on a lot of things. Most recently, that comes to mind for me, is I was playing Raccoons earlier today against Loki. Just get Sandayu off field, that gets rid of the Sandayu lock. You can kill Sandayu. There you go. It also works against stuff like Burning Abyss, like Dante. Dante doesn't hit grave, he just goes back. So no float. Next, 2 legendary 6 Samurai Shinai. Infamous card. Too bad Gateway isn't legal. What he does is basically he's paired with Mizuho, which I'll get to in a bit, where if he's tributed, you can add a 6 Samurai back to your hand. And you can special summon him if Mizuho is on the field. Let's get into what I was talking about, Mizuho herself. Mizuho's effect is basically she just destroys things, but the cost for that is to tribute a 6 Samurai. So usually most of the time you'll just end up pairing it with Shinai. You have Mizuho on field, special summon Shinai from hand, and then you'll use Mizuho's effect to pop something, Shinai dies, and you can take another Samurai back from the grave, which is, in most cases, if you have it, a Kizan. So you can just special summon Kizan back, and you have more field presence. Speaking of Kizan, rounding out the monsters is legendary 6 Samurai Kizan. Kizan's effect is if there's another Samurai on the field, you can just special summon him, straight up. It's great because a lot of the time, if you draw into this first hand, you have instant rank 4, or if you get some of the really cheese hands, like you might see in some of the duel videos that we post, you can just swarm the field, compile that with the other things that I run in the deck that boost the attack power of the monsters. You can pretty much just OTK someone if they aren't prepared. Which is why, I don't know, my philosophy with Samurai is if I don't win in the first 3 turns, I lose. Monsters are done, so let's go into spells. The 3 spells, basically, I think this is the only 3 of them I run for spells, is Shi and Smoke Signal. You can add a level 3 or lower to your hand. This build that I'm running doesn't run stuff like Squire and foot soldier, but you can if you do run those with this right here. Basically, it just gives you a lot of consistency. If you're gonna pair that with like triple rota, which I do, you've got 6 search cards, so it's a lot of consistency. Next, 2 Shien's Dojo. Shien's Dojo is basically, I use it to get out synchros, because basically all you need is to summon 2. You can get a Kagebusha, use the Kagebusha as synchro fodder for a 6. You could use it for Shien. You get Goyo Guardian if you run that. Even say you have Shinai, Mizuho, and you can go into Stardust. I run Stardust in the extra, so that's mainly what I use Dojo for. You can also use it to get out a 4 if you're just going to keep it there for nothing. Next, Asceticism. I'm thinking about cutting this, but it's pretty useful depending on the monster composition of your samurai deck. It allows you to summon a 6 samurai from your deck with the same attack as the monster you targeted, but the monster you targeted dies. So basically what you do with this is just target something, summon a rank 4 or the same rank, or level 4, keep saying rank, and you just XYZ with it. Or you can push for game, I guess. The only target I have for it is Zanji though. Next 2 spells, 6 Samurai United. Just draw power of the deck. It's pretty easy to fulfill the requirements for it, because you have stuff like Kageki, Kizan, Grandmaster that all special summon if there's another one on the field, so that's pretty much instant 2 free cards. It's also good MST bait, because people don't like you drawing cards. Next, MST. I run 2, because I'm pretty pressed for deck space. MST, just destroy spells, continuous, all that. Next, I'm just going to put, these are all one-ofs, Regeki, Snatch Steal, and Solidarity. Regeki, pretty simple, just wipe your opponent's board. It's great because it's like, wipe their board, just slap your hand on field, push for game, get game, win. Snatch Steal, taking your opponent's monster is great, especially in today's meta. Not much else to say. Solidarity. The 6 samurai are all warriors, so you're pretty much going to be getting the boost from this all the time, unless you go into your extra deck a ton, and then you're going to start seeing some problems because I run non-warrior extra deck monsters. But usually most of the time this is just going to serve purposes like MST bait, or if they don't kill it, they're going to be taking bigger hits, which is not good for your opponent. Last of the spells, Triple Rota, warrior deck. Triple Rota is amazing, adds consistency, especially since it's rank 4, it's level 4s and not just level 3s like Shien's Smoke Signal, so you can pull anything except Grandmaster. Starting off the traps, let's go with the only 3 of that I have, which is Magatama. Thinking about cutting it to 2, but Magatama is actually really useful, because when you're trying to push for an OTK, you don't really need stuff getting blown up. Magatama helps prevent that. Next, we have 3 of the big 4. Solemn, Bottomless, and Compulse. These are kind of self-explanatory cards. If you watch the other deck profiles, I go into a little bit more detail on what they do and how they're useful. But basically, they just fit into every deck. They're staples. Last 2 for the main deck is a Vanity's Emptiness and a Trap Stun. Trap Stun might not be as useful in today's meta because you have people running around with triple Denko all day, but for those rare occasions that you do, you don't want a Mirror Force, a Deep Prison, or anything really stopping you. So there you go, Trap Stun. It also, yeah, you can stop a Vanities for a turn with a Trap Stun. Speaking of Vanities, my 1 copy of Vanities, I would like to run 3, but kind of poor at the moment, so I'm just skipping out with 1, even if they are really cheap. Basically, What you're going to want to do with the vanities is just slap your hand on the field and flip up the vanities and just watch as your opponent squirms, because a lot of the time you're going to have a field like 2 Kizan in Inishi, Mizuho, and Shinai with a Solidarity up and stuff in the grave. And if you have a vanities down, it's pretty hard to stop that kind of field. And this wraps up the main deck. Let's go into the extra. So, to start off with the synchros that I run in the extra is Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. What he does is, once per turn, he can just negate a spell or trap straight up, which is great, considering that it cripples your opponent's defense a lot of the time as well as their offense. Most relevant one I can think of is you can negate Necron's tribute spells, but you can only do it once, so you have to be really smart about what you do, because a lot of time your opponent will just bait you into negating something, or you have to choose whatever the greater of 2 evils to negate is, and you're going to have to end up taking a hit anyway. Really sad that this is only at 1, but if it was at 2, kind of broken. Next, Armades, Keep Your Boundaries. Armades is great. Used to be a lot better in, say, like last format, where there's last 2 formats, I should say, where there's a hell of a lot of hands running around because Armades stops them. Armades also stops, I'm pretty sure, Shadals, because they can't activate until damage step is done. Depending on the situation, you're going to want to go into Armades first rather than Shien. So you don't have another Samurai on the field and you can't protect Shien. You can just go into Armades either way, because Armades is just a great card to have field presence with. Next synchro, Black Rose Dragon. Not really as useful, considering that Samurai can't recover from their field if it gets blown up. This is kind of just a last resort card to have, because I have deck space. Next, Stardust Dragon. Kind of hard to get into with this deck, because the only way you can get into it is a Kagemusha paired with 2 level 3s, which in most cases is going to be Mizuho and Shinai. But when you do have it, it kind of buffers your field presence a bit, because you can't destroy stuff when Stardust is on field. Let's see. You got Naturia Beast as the next synchro. Naturia Beast negates spells. It's just, it's more useful today, considering that, not today, this meta I should say, that a lot of people don't run traps, which is why I don't run Barkion. Because Barkion is the one that negates traps, Naturia Beast negates spells. So if you can negate spells, then you can just save your Shien negation and keep going with the Beast. Next, in the extra, I run a Downerd Magician. Mainly this is just for taking stuff like, say, Dante, you're playing Burning Abyss, Snatch Steal to Dante, overlay Downerd Magician onto the Dante doesn't float. So it's great. It just stops Burning Abyss from keeping their shenanigans going. Next, extra deck monster is Acid Golem of Destruction. Acid Golem is mainly just if I need a stick on field, I go into this with a Mizuho and a Shinai, and if it runs out of its materials, I just overlay Downerd onto it. Not really that big of a hindrance to my deck. Next on the line, we got Castel Skyblaster. Castel's a great card. You just send something back to deck, poke them for 2k. Next two Warrior deck staples. You have Blade Armor Ninja, Heroic Champion Excalibur. Really easy to go into in this deck considering how much you spam level 4s. Just attack twice for 22. Just straight up 4k hit. It's great. Push for OTKs. Put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Get them to screw up if they have a lot of pressure on them. Next, Gaga Cowboy. Basically just steal games. Get them down to 800. Just pew. Next, Rhapsody and Berserk. Great in this meta because a lot of graveyard decks running around. Just detach 2, banish from either player's grave, I think. Yeah, just banish two things from the grave, and you could you could equip it to your XYZs, but second effect doesn't really come into play, and I don't like clogging my back row. Karen Gorgon is next on the list. Samurai, bad at stalling. Like I said earlier, my philosophy with Samurai is if I don't win in 3 turns, I'm gonna lose. So Karen Gorgon is mainly just for those later games, like where you don't get a super good hand, and you kind of have to play more stally while you build up your hand and go for that big slap hand on field and just push for an OTK. Karen Gorgon helps because you can just summon him and sit on it. More for the stally XYZs. My stroke does the same job, just my stroke sits, doesn't die, and helps you build up your hand to slap your hand on the field. Last 2 extra decks, Exciton Knight and Merylgeist. If you watch some of my other deck profiles, I explained why Merylgeist I put it in a lot of my decks. It's mainly for Burning Abyss when I fight Burning Abyss, because they don't hit the grave. And when Burning Abyss monsters hit the grave, they gain an effect. Merylgeist prevents that, and it keeps them from doing all their shenanigans. Exciton Knight is kind of just a staple in anything that can make rank 4s, because blowing up the field is great. It's fun. And that wraps up this 6 Samurai deck profile. Thank you for watching, and I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, comment, favorite, all that stuff. This is Dread from the Trinity of Lift, signing off.